Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. I'm Peter Gross, co-host of the original Wild Kingdom with Marlin, Perkins, and Jim Fowler. Most of us have seen movies or television shows where sharks have been portrayed as marauders who prey on unsuspecting swimmers or smaller fish in the sea. But many Wild Kingdom episodes illustrate how sharks and other predators are an important part of the food chain in our underwater world. Oceans cover 70% of our planet, yet we still have much to learn about this important ecosystem. Modern technology has enhanced our ability to study the ocean with minimal disruption to their habitat. Human involvement in recent legislation to protect underwater creatures allow for their resurgence. There's more good news to come in the Wild Kingdom, so sit back, relax, and enjoy Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom is presented by Mutual of Omaha.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Of all the wildlife areas I've visited, I think the most colorful and dramatic is the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Australia. When Marineland of Australia planned an expedition to the reef, they invited Tom Allen and me to take part. Tom is an expert diver, and his skills were needed because we planned to do our exploring underwater around a huge coral pinnacle jutting up from the ocean floor. Australians call a coral head like this a Bomi. Bomis are centers of underwater life, and we plan to observe the animals around a large one, both by day and by night, when the character of this underwater community changes drastically. Going under at night, it was mighty good to have an experienced diver like Tom along.
A night dive is totally different than any other dive. In addition to the normal gear, you have to add one all-important piece of equipment, a strong, reliable light. It not only lets you see where you're going, it's also the main way that divers are able to keep track of each other in the darkness. No matter how many dives you've been on, your first night dive is like your first trip underwater.
The coral pinnacle we planned to explore was called the Big Bomi, and it was located off Australia's eastern coast in the Capricorn Islands that are part of the vast coral complex making up the Great Barrier Reef. We're anchored in shallow water over the coral flats at the reef's southern end. This is the spot chosen for our dive by John Reynolds, Director of Marineland of Australia and our expedition leader. There's a bright sun shining, so Tom Allen and I will have good visibility today as we explore the coral below. This is an area where there could be strong underwater currents to swim against. An important factor when you're moving through coral that's often razor sharp. There's a steep drop-off at the edge of these shallows, and that's where we'll find Big Bomi, the huge coral pinnacle that's a thriving community of reef life. The water is clear and warm, perfect for the growth of coral, which covers the seafloor with fantastic formations. This coral has been built up over thousands of years, produced by the rock-hard secretions of tiny animals, some species no larger than a pinhead. There's the drop-off. Big Bomi's just beyond. At this depth, water tints everything blue, so we've brought along hand lights for a better idea of the true colors here. There's a rock cod on the sandy bottom ahead. It seems strange that the cod isn't reacting to our presence. Even though it's watching us approach, it isn't moving. A fish this large has little cause for fear in these waters, but that doesn't really explain his odd behavior. The cod seems to be waiting here for a reason. It won't budge. There's the answer, a cleaning station at the base of Big Bomi. Another cod is at the station, and it's getting a thorough cleaning from some small striped fish called cleaner wrasses. These cleaners eat parasites from the scales and gills, and larger fish literally line up to wait their turn at a cleaning station like this. The cleaner wrasses seldom move their location, and their clients come here time after time to have tiny external parasites nibbled away. And though the cleaner fish would be easy prey, they are never eaten, even when they move into the gills or mouth. This cod seems to be next in line, and we'll let him wait undisturbed. Some fish open their mouth wide as a signal that they're ready to be cleaned.
Other fish give different signals to the cleaners, and these batfish use the most spectacular one of all. They're moving to the far end of the station, and as they do, they're actually changing color. When the batfish's stripes begin to darken, it's a signal that the batfish is willing to be cleaned. The color change continues until the batfish become totally black. It's a drastic transformation, and it does more than tell the wrasses that the batfish wants a cleaning. It also makes the cleaning job easier, showing up light-colored parasites, which the wrasses quickly nibble off. This cleaning station is the perfect spot for an experiment we've planned, but we'll need something from the ship. We want to try a feeding experiment, and John's got our bait ready. Small chunks of common fish taken from these waters. Normally, it would be food for the fish we saw below. We hope to find out whether the fish that refuse to eat the cleaner wrasses will eat anything else here at the station.
It isn't taking long for our answer. As soon as the scent of that food hit the water, it drew a real crowd, and they're all hungry. This one's a little too hungry. He's got my finger. No harm done, and that just makes the experiment all the more conclusive. There's no doubt these fish are hungry, so their behavior at the cleaning station is even more remarkable. Despite their obvious appetites, none of these fish will attack the small, cleaner wrasses, which would be easy prey. That's enough. We'll need the rest of this bait for another experiment with another animal we hope to find ahead in the coral of Big Bomi. The concentration of sea life around Big Bomi was truly impressive. Each new coral cave and formation we discovered seemed a center of animal activity.
We've planned a simple experiment to test the territorial instincts of reef fish. like this zebra angel. It may be possible to learn whether this fish will defend a territory. By holding a mirror, we'll see if the fish will attack its own reflection. The only reaction seems to be one of curiosity. There's no aggressive challenge to the image in the mirror. Usually, when a fish is boldly colored like this, it will defend a territory. The bright colors are a signal to other fish to stay away. But the zebra angelfish seems to be an exception to the rule. There's much more of the coral to explore ahead, and the daylight will begin fading soon.
So far, we've observed only the animals found around the base of Big Bomi. But now we'll concentrate on the huge coral head itself. Big Bomi rises steeply from the ocean floor with all the majesty of a Gothic cathedral. This big coral pinnacle is laced with openings and caverns, and they're promising places to explore, because marine animals of all kinds seek these sheltered formations for protection. A trumpetfish, and like most of the others we've seen here, it's developed no fear of man. The numberless caves and overhangs of Big Bomi have been claimed by fish of every kind. The coral is teeming with life, seemingly unconcerned about our presence. Many caverns have permanent residents. Just above us, a harlequin tuskfish patrols its territory. The harlequin's bright colors let other fish know that he will defend his home against all trespassers. There's hardly a spot on this coral where you can't find some animal. Many are quite tiny, like this nudibranch, only 2 inches long. Some nudibranchs prey on an animal most other reef dwellers avoid, the sea anemone. Today, we plan to make a large anemone the subject of another experiment. We've spotted an anemone the right size, anchored to the coral just ahead, with its deadly stinging tentacles extended. But the clownfish is immune to the anemone's paralyzing sting. Clownfish and anemones have a relationship that isn't completely understood, and our experiment may help us learn more about them. The clownfish are protected by the tentacles, which are deadly to other fish, and we want to see how the anemone benefits in return. The fish are taking food right to the anemone's mouth. This confirms reports that clownfish will capture smaller fish and feed them to the anemone. They may also lure larger fish into attacking and meeting their death in the tentacles. In either case, both the clownfish and the anemone can then share the meal. That's one the anemone won't get, and that's the last of our bait.
A large shadow just moved over Big Bomi, and there's no mistaking what caused it. A visitor from the open ocean, a manta ray. It has come into a cleaning station at the very top of Big Bomi, and the little cleaner fish are swarming over it. Underneath the ray, a remora fish is hitching a ride, attached by a suction disc on its head. This manta's being followed by an even larger one. It must be 20 feet across. Mantas are called devilfish, but they're quite harmless. eating only plankton and small shellfish. This one's carrying several remoras. Mantas seem to fly through the water, and sometimes they actually take to the air, leaping 15 feet above the surface, possibly to dislodge barnacles or remoras like these. It may be possible to get a closer look. They seem from another world as they glide over the cleaning station, flapping those huge wings. They're one of the ocean's oldest inhabitants, dating back to prehistoric times. We can't follow any farther. Our air is getting low and the daylight is dying. It's time to refill our tanks and prepare for a dive into the nighttime world of Big Bomi.
We had seen many animals during our daytime dives, but much sea life is active only after dark, so we now planned a night dive into the waters of Big Bomi. After sundown, exploring the undersea world centered on Big Bomi becomes a new challenge. But some of the greatest sights of all are found only in the nighttime coral. Diving at night is a totally different experience. The underworld environment seems alien now, and you feel closed in and alone in a world only as big as the beam of your light. Most of the animals we saw here in the daytime are now hidden, and new ones have taken their place. Many fish are sleeping, while other animals have become active in the dark, like this decorator crab. It's attached bits of sponge to its shell for camouflage. Underwater at night, all the normal tensions of a daytime dive increase tremendously, and your breathing rate almost doubles as a result. That means our air supply won't last as long, and time is more critical. We'll cover more ground by splitting up, but we'll stay within sight of each other's light. That's the only way we can maintain contact in the darkness. In my light, Big Bomi is vivid with the reds and yellows of tiny coral animals that extend their tentacles to feed after sundown. Almost lost in the brilliant colors are the blue and orange of a parrotfish, sound asleep in its coral cave. The parrotfish is sleeping so deeply, he's not even responding when I nudge him. He's starting to wake up, but he still seems drowsy, acting exactly like you'd expect someone to act who gets awakened in the middle of the night. With all the commotion here, he's going to find someplace else to rest. It didn't take long. The parrotfish is sound asleep again.
Big Bomi seems almost littered with fish sleeping in caves and other sheltered places. Here's a coral trout dozing. The coral trout's a common fish in this area. It could easily be mistaken for a different fish during the day because its color changes after sundown, from bright blue spots in the daytime to the nighttime colors of brown and gray. This is a lucky find, one of the rarest reef fishes, and certainly the most beautiful, the butterfly cod. You never see this fish swimming quickly. It always glides along with great dignity and grace, its fins spread out like an underwater peacock. The butterfly cod has no reason to hurry because it's as deadly as it is beautiful. The back fins conceal spines that carry a potent venom. A sting from a butterfly cod is incredibly painful, and the pain sometimes lasts for months. Of all the animals at Big Bomi, the most interesting may be the coral itself. At night, the coral polyps emerge to feed on tiny organisms floating in the water, catching them in their tentacles and stinging them to death. Countless numbers of these little coral animals have secreted the hard, limy skeleton that is Big Bomi. Our air is running low, and there's only time to explore a short while longer. We'll check a deep cave in the coral ahead. It's occupied all right by a green sea turtle, a female judging from the length of the tail. She was sleeping and seems confused by our lights. This is a big one. She must weigh close to 400 pounds. If I can hold her still long enough, we'll check to see if she's carrying a tag. Females are often tagged when they climb ashore to lay eggs. She doesn't seem to be wearing a tag, but she isn't going to give us a very good look. No use, she's just too strong. She'll probably be fast asleep in a matter of minutes, wedged into another coral cave.
It's time we headed for home. Our tanks are almost empty, but we haven't far to swim. The ship is directly above. Before long, a new day will begin in this undersea community. A community we've seen in all its beauty and variety as we explored the coral of Big Bomi on the Great Barrier Reef. Tom and I saw many animals in our night dive. Like the daytime animals, their life cycles are tied to the coral that over millions of years has built up Big Bomi and the rest of the Great Barrier Reef. The reef is one of the world's natural wonders. Nowhere is the beauty of the undersea world more in dramatic evidence. But though the reef may have taken thousands of centuries to build, like all wildlife habitats, it could be destroyed in a lifetime. With careless exploitation, man has already thoughtlessly devastated much of the beauty of his world. The Great Barrier Reef is an eloquent reminder of the riches that can be ours if we value and protect every part of the wild kingdom.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Like what you saw? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exclusive content. And visit our website at wildkingdom.com.